Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Huh? It doesn't feel the same. What? It's weird. I'm sorry. Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch Attack on Titan Season 2, Episode 8. Guys, we need to talk during this intro. I worked on my series between the last session of binge watching that I had and this one. During the last session of binge watching, I think that I watched 4 episodes at a time. And during these 4 episodes, we discovered, I already knew that Ymir would be a Titan, so I was not that surprised about it, and we had it really on screen happening. I suspected really a lot, and at the end of the 2 first episodes that I watched the last time, I was sure that also Bertolt and Reiner were a part of this organization as spies or as clever Titans. We had the confirmation of that during the 2 last episodes, you know, the episodes 6 and 7. I really felt hard, you know, during this last session of binge watching, because all of the informations that they were giving, in particular Reiner explaining the situation, the fact that he wanted to go home, the fact that he spent too many times with them, and that he was saying stuff like they are idiots, maybe I care too much about them, and how also Bertolt reacted when he saved Connie, like he was not expecting Reiner to do something like that, and he said that before Reiner was a warrior, it was almost like the fact that he saved Connie, it was not a part of his mission, it was not something that he should have done. All of that, you know, all of these informations that we learned during the 4 last episodes, it made me think a lot about my theory about this organization. You know that I have 2 theories about this organization. I had, because I worked on that, I had 2 theories about this organization. The first one, it was people inside who are organizing all of that, who are creating the Titans. The first one, the stupid ones, to keep people inside of this world, because the world outside is destroyed and you want to keep people in because, you know, of nuclear bomb, you know, I don't know, we don't know how the world is outside. And they created after that the clever ones to kill people inside because they had too many people and not enough resources, stuff like that. That was my first theory. And the second theory that I had, it was people outside attacking them through the stupid Titans, the clever Titans, another country, something else attacking. The fact that Reiner said all of that, you know, it was amplifying my impression that it was the second theory, but he was saying stuff which were weird and that I couldn't understand, and still, you know, a lot of things about my first theory were still functioning and working, and not at all with the second theory. So I said it, I had to find a way to make things work together. Like the minister, the fact that he's aware of the fact that we have Titans inside of the walls, the fact that he knows stuff that much and all, there is still something right there. So I had to find a way to mix these 2 theories together. The 2 main issues that I had is the fact that in one theory it's people in one theory it's people out, and the second issue is the fact that in one theory they want to keep people alive. In fact, you know, they want to have them inside and to have just the number of people that they can have inside, when on the second theory they want to kill them. So the easiest part, the easiest issue to resolve, it's the people in, people out. People in can be people out and the contrary. And the main issue at the end, it's really the intention behind that. I came up with a theory that this organization, it's made by a group of people. So we have spies, active agents. They are not really spies, they are active agents inside. We have also inside people who are not active, who are more like people who are deciding stuff and who are communicating with the outside. And outside we have people, they are all into the same organization. The people outside, they are creating the titans, because in fact we need people outside to create the titans, to do all of that. So it's the same people, and they are outside also because maybe it's easier for them to decide that kind of stuff when they are not involved, when they are not seeing really the stuff happening and all. I think that Dr. Jaeger is into that outside people. That's why, you know, he disappeared during that moment just before the attack, because he knew that the attack was gonna happen. That's why we didn't have news about him, because he is outside now for life, you know, like he can't come back. So see, I found a way to resolve that main issue about the fact that in my two first series I had people in and people out, so now they are the same. I managed to make that work. The real deal is still with the intention behind that. What do they want? These people, this organization, okay, they are operating like that, they are into the town, and they have also maybe a town outside, a base, something. But for what reason they are doing that? I think that I'm still right with the fact that there is an issue with they want to keep people inside of this town, to keep people alive, and they had to kill some of them because there were too many inside. But the fact that I don't know how the world is outside, it's making me wonder about why they want to keep people inside like that. And it's working, you know, with the fact that they want to kill people, they want to operate like that, the fact that we have some of them out into that base, into that other town. But what Reiner said is really disturbing me. He said one particular line: we were there to destroy humanity. That I don't understand. That I can't make it function with none of my series, because saying that, Reiner, you are implying that you are not human. Okay, he's a human who can become a titan, but it means that you consider yourself and people into your own place, on town, as people who are like you. Everyone can become a titan, so you are another community outside, like we have that. I can't believe so. I can't believe something like that happening. Like, in fact, that's the last humans on Earth, you know, that were into that town. And in fact, the Titans are just trying to attack them, destroy them for good. Why not intervening sooner? Why not intervening really for good and doing all of these spying things inside? You know, if I'm going really far with that theory about it's a community of clever titans, human clever titans outside who just want to attack and destroy humanity, like, no, you would have done it. Why all of this thing about making spies to come inside, to have informations, to do things like that? Like, why? No, it's not functioning. So there is something else. And the fact that I really think that clever titans that are created, it means that at the base you are humans. It means that it's not just you, a community of humans, clever titans. You have also humans. You don't want to destroy all of humanity. You know, it doesn't make sense for you to say something like that. But you know, that theory that I made about people in being people out, the same organization doing that for the same reason, to keep people inside, to not have too many people, to do things like that, and they are working together. They have active agents and also thinker agent, I don't know how to say it, inside and outside. It's working well, and it's also going well with the fact that we have the minister, some religious figure, and political also, some figure like that inside, deciding stuff and communicating with the outside. And it's going also with my theory of the fact that the secret basement, it's in fact a secret passage to the outside, because again, into this secret basement, it can't be anything but something physical, you know. He said you're gonna have the answer when you're gonna discover what it is, you know, into the secret basement. It was years ago, so it means that it's something that can resist to time, to rain, to dust, to fire, to every natural things. So it has to be something physical. And yes, I had this theory since the beginning, in fact, even before I had any theories about the Titans, about the fact that it's a passage for outside. And I think really a lot that I'm gonna be able to confirm or not my theory, or just to have a real answer or the big clue that I miss when we're gonna discover what is outside. The world outside, they never explained what the world is outside, why you can't go outside. I mean, why? It was because of the Titans. So I think that there is something right there, and I think that it's maybe the answer to everything, or at least a real clue to explain what is happening into that town. Do you understand what I mean? We need to go outside of this world. Now that we have Eren as a clever Titan, he can do that. He can come with us, no? So yes, see, I worked on my theory. I found a way to make these two theories work. With the issue about people in and out, with the issue of the intention. The only thing that can't work with that new theory, it's what Reiner said about destroying all humanity. That, I have really a big issue with that. I can't understand that. Maybe you know, he exaggerated a little his mission, saying that, like, or maybe I didn't understand it right, or maybe the translation was not right, because really I have some issues with that. Oh, and you know, I put everyone on my suspect list of being a spy or a clever Titan, except for Sasha, Jan, and Levi, because we saw their backgrounds, and at the top of that suspect list, I had at some point Reiner and Bertolt, and then I was sure that they were. Ymir, I was sure that she was one since the beginning, but at the top of that list I still have Mikasa, because again, if Dr. Jaeger did that to Eren, why not to Mikasa? And even more because we had that moment, you know, that flashback with Eren, who remembered that Annie and Mikasa, they fought, and Annie, she said to Mikasa, that's only something that I can teach to humans, but let's see how it's gonna be with wild animals. And also, one of the first suspicions that I had for Bertolt and Reiner, it was because during one of the OVA distress, they reacted weirdly with Annie, so I was like, if Annie is acting weirdly and the two of you also, it means that I'm gonna suspect the two of you. But in fact, now that I think about it, they reacted weirdly because Mikasa said something. So Mikasa really top of my suspect list right now. And I still have Krista on the top of my suspect list, even if things that I had against the girl can in fact be explained by what we discovered about her family, the fact that she's coming from a noble family, that she was hidden right there, that she's sad about it and all, like, a lot can be explained by that. The only thing that cannot be explained by that is the fact that the minister said that about her, that she was sent to observe, something that can work with my new theory. Maybe she was outside on that base, that town, and she was sent inside to observe, to be sure that everything was happening like it was decided. Maybe. I think also that maybe he only said her name because it was a name that he knew, like he was sure that she was on the front line and he just wanted to be into the front line. Maybe it was just that, or maybe he just want to check if she's still alive or not. So still on my suspect list, but not as much as before. That's a long intro, but I really hope, guys, that you took the time to watch this intro and to hear my new theory about that organization, because it's a real big deal, you know, and because it's gonna explain also how I'm gonna react to the new information that I'm gonna have on the 3 episodes normally that I'm gonna watch today. let's go for this episode 8. Yes, I'm gonna watch 3 episodes, so I'm gonna keep the 2 last episodes of the season for the same session of binge watching, you know. Like usually, remember that you have my Patreon on which you can have the episodes earlier. Now it's a lot earlier. I think that on Patreon we have 4 or 5 episodes of advance. It's really a lot, 4 or 5 episodes of advance. With an extended or full reaction part, you know that I'm forced to cut a lot on YouTube to keep only, you know, 5 seconds of a scene. I don't do that at all on Patreon. Even, you know, if it's just the extended reaction part, I'm really putting the scene, you know, that I want you guys to see for my reactions about it. You have the full opacity for sure. And also I put a lot of full reaction parts for Attack on Titan, for the season 1, for the season 2, for the OVA, because it's a show, it's an anime for which I'm reacting really a lot, and we have a lot of big important scenes. So really 5 episodes of advance, extended or full reaction parts with really longer scenes than on YouTube, because again on YouTube I'm forced to cut a lot. That's big advantages, you know, that you can have to come on my Patreon. I'm making these advantages also because Patreon it's the best way to support me. Right there on YouTube it's rough, so I'm making also these big advantages for that. Let's go for this episode right now, but episode. The end of the last episode, it was, oh yes, the combat with Reiner and Eren, and the fact that Reiner is screamed, so Bertolt would break his body to fall into them. I think that the intention behind that was really to kill everyone, including themselves. Like, we don't want anyone to have any informations, we need to end everything, just kill everyone. That's my theory for that action. Did you manage to... Careful, guys! Who protected Armin like that? Who protected you, Armin? Oh! Bertolt, it was to take Eren. Reiner could run with the 2. But Bertolt, you took Ymir inside of you. Okay, we're back in trust. When? They're gonna see the armored titan running from the inside, you know. And the beast titan, he disappeared. No. The military police, they came. Your friends. You care, mate. If you really want to see Titans? Nah. So the 3 of them disappeared, but they didn't get out of the walls. Connie, you're okay. Krista also. She lost Eren. You don't want her to wake up right now. Prepare a good answer to say to Mikasa. Understand. A flashback? Wonder Woman! Young and pure. What did I just say? Never say something about Eren being in danger to Mikasa. Already trying to defend everyone. Already that rage inside of you, Eren. That's the first thing that I said when he talked like that to Anase coming back from the outside. It's the first thing that I said about him. You have a rage inside of you. Mikasa! She was already frightening everyone. I always thought that she was just a natural one, you know, with fighting. But was she trained to be like that? By her family? Like Annie's dad trained her? Why Dr. Jaeger was about to visit her family? Okay. I just thought of it. Eren. Eren, who is gonna try to save everyone. Mikasa, who is gonna go to protect him. Eren, who can't give up. But Mikasa, I just thought about it. Your parents, they were a part of that organization also. That's why Dr. Jaeger came. That's why you are trained like that. They took Ymir also? Okay. Because of the colossal wand falling on him. It's because of that? Oh, you know, of a logistical issue? She's gonna be alright, she's gonna be alright, she won't die, she's injured. Not this again. Okay, not this again. Eren being kidnapped. I thought that she was talking about the fact that her head. It's different? You're smiling saying that, Armin. What a surprise. And also, I'm so glad that you're right there for these two right now. You know, he represents their own life and also their family. You're there for Eren. To save people, to defend people, to do what he thinks which is right. So you know that it's not the end. Yep. You're giving them up. And also thank you for that, you're really giving them up. Also, and it can be a good way to have more information. You are happy. But you are also into the denial, so... Oh, guys. Thank you so much, Anase. Where are my babies? Levi and Jan.
確かに一番早い。やっぱり君には残ってほしいんだけど、ユミルがさらわれたのにここで待つなんてできない。
クリスタの言う通りだぜ、アルミ。
And you couldn't accept to do the same.
奴らを追いかける理由がライナーのベルトルトも敵だったなんて。奴らの口から直接聞くまでは。
He saved him, he saved Connie.
間に合ったのですね。ここに小規模だが、巨大樹の森がある。そこを目指すべきだ。巨人化の力があって
To transform
敵が
themselves.
他の巨人の脅威にさらされるようだし、エレンほどじゃなくてもえらく消耗してるんじゃないか。
Also, they need to rest.
さらにその長大な距離を渡り進む体力が残ってないものと仮定してみよう。巨人の手の届かないところで休みたいと思うんじゃないか。
Yes, 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 you're right.
巨人が動く
Huh? Oh, because... Oi.
夜までだ。
To find them.
夜までにこの森に着けばまだ間に合うかもしれない。
Come on! My wonderful servitors. When I said that, I knew that it would be the end of the episode. I swear. Okay. Not a lot of things happened during this episode, in fact, you know. We didn't progress into the story, we didn't have any new information, any new clues about trying to understand what is happening right there with them, with everything. It was really just the aftermath, you know, the consequences of what happened during the last episode, this combat between these clever titans, the fact that they kidnapped Eren, and people just trying to deal with the situation, a lot of injured people, a lot of people who died, the fact that they were blocked, you know, on the walls because they couldn't get the horses down, the fact that it, you know, emotionally it can be rough for Armin and Mikasa to go after Eren, to be there for him, to take him back, but also for Connie, the emotional consequence for Connie about all of that, the fact that he still can't believe that Reiner and Bertolt are these two titans, that they wanted to kill everyone, he wants to know what is happening. Also the emotional consequence for Krista, the fact that she still wants to go after them to save Ymir. That was really all of the consequences, the aftermath of what happened during the last episode. Erwin, Pixies, all of them knowing what happened on that wall, trying to make a plan together to, you know, the next step, what it's gonna be, preparing that together. To have also back in the game Jan, Erwin. We didn't see Levi, he didn't come. I know that he can't fight, I know that he's hurt. It's killing me, the fact that he's hurt. We need good soldiers right now, so we need Levi, he's the best. But maybe with the minister, he's still with the minister. During the same time, we can have some scenes with Levi, not torturing him, but trying to have more information about the situation. Jan learning that 3 of them are also clever titans. I know, my dear, I know. But yes, that was really the consequences, all of that. That flashback was really great. Like I said during the episode, it's really showing that the basic stuff, you know, about their characters didn't change. For sure they evolved a lot, because right there they were so pure, so innocent, and like Anissa said, like they lived such an happy life without knowing all of what was gonna happen, without losing all of the people that they lost after that. So that was good days during these moments. They didn't know it, but it was good days. And yes, the basic stuff about their characters didn't change. Eren, he still wants to save everyone, to defend the people that he loves, to be against the people who are attacking the people that he loves, to fight and to not give up on a fight, to continue no matter what, because he knows that what he's doing is right. He believes into that much that he's never gonna stop to fight. And to fight, like I said it, he has such a rage into him since the beginning. It's really fun, you know, when you think about it. Fun. Weird and fun. The fact that when I began this anime, the first episode, after the first scene, you know, when we have Eren and Mikasa, you know, is waking up and something like that, and after that, he's coming back inside of the town, and he's talking with Anase is making fun at him or something like that. And Eren, during that conversation, is mad and is saying stuff like, you shouldn't be drinking, you are soldiers, you should do that and that. And during that time, discovering that character, that was the first thing that I said about him, about trying to analyze this character. It was me saying, kid, you have such a rage into you, what is happening? And when I think about that, and when I think about all of what we discovered about Eren, the fact that he can be a clever titan and all, but also about him, he's still like that. He didn't change that aspect of him, you know, and it can be explained so much more now. Yes, Eren didn't change for that. He has still these values, you know, these principles, and what he wants to do to defend people that he loves, to save people, to do what he thinks which is right, to fight, to not give up. Mikasa, she still wants to fight also, but to defend Eren. She's not gonna accept anyone hurting him, which is really something which is bothering me, frightening me, because I think that at some point maybe Mikasa can die trying to save Eren, you know, sacrificing herself for Eren. I think that one of the paths that this character can take can be that. I mean, her end can be that, at least. Armin, he wants to stop the fight, no matter what. I love the fact that Anase made that speech, you know, to Eren, made that speech, you know, to Mikasa and Armin, because they needed to hear that. And coming from him, someone who is representing their past, their old lives, their family, at least, who is representing them, for them, the memories that they all have together. I mean, they lost their families, these three, so there are their own family, but Anase is also a part of it, because family, it's people who love each other, who care about each other, and who are there to protect each other, and who share also memories together. Anase is that also for them, so is also a part of their family in a way. So yes, that moment was really great, and I'm glad that Anase can be there for them for that. That was cool. Mikasa, yes, I thought about it during this flashback. You know that I put Mikasa at the top of my suspect list of people who can be spies or clever titans. And I think, you know, with this theory, that maybe Mikasa, she's a clever titan, but like Eren, you know, she's not a part of this organization, but she's a clever titan because Dr. Jaeger made her like that. Maybe she knows it, maybe she doesn't know it, but no matter what, I think that she's like Eren for that. At least she can be. I'm not at 100% sure, but that's an high possibility, you know, for me. I always knew, they always said that Mikasa, she knew how to fight, that she was threatening all of the kids into that town and all, but I never thought of the fact, how can she know how to fight like that? She learned that somewhere. The last kid that we discovered who knew already how to fight and all, it was Annie. Her dad trained her like that. Mikasa, she didn't learn that coming from nowhere, so maybe she learned it, how to fight and all, because of her parents teaching her that. And now that I think about it, why Dr. Jaeger would want to visit this family? Maybe because he's a doctor and all, but can it be possible? You know, one of my big theories, it's not even a theory now, like I'm sure that Dr. Jaeger was a part of that organization, so can it be possible that in fact he was visiting another family who is a part of that organization, And that's why Mikasa, she was trained like Annie was trained by her family. Maybe, you know, in fact, if Mikasa's parents wouldn't have been killed, Mikasa, she would have had the same journey, the same destiny, you know, than Annie. Do you understand my logic right there? Like, she was trained to fight, so by her parents, her family. For what reason? If it's not, you know, members of the organization. Dr. Jaeger, he visited that family. Now that I think about it, maybe it's weird. The fact that I'm already suspecting Mikasa to be a Titan because, you know, Dr. Jaeger did that to Eren, so why not to Mikasa? Maybe in fact she was even before that, before her parents being killed. I mean, she was meant to be that even before her parents being killed. What Annie said during that flashback about the fact that she's not teaching that way of fighting to... No, she's only teaching that way of fighting to humans, but why not to a wild animal? Mikasa, I'm at 90% sure now that you are a clever Titan. Like Eren, you're not a part of this organization, I really don't believe so, but I think that like Eren, you can be a clever Titan. Maybe you know it, maybe not, I'm not sure. But you are, my dear. Like really 90% sure now. I was already suspecting it a lot, like 70% sure. Now that I thought about that, you know, the fact that she was trained to fight, really? Why I didn't think about it before, you know? The fact that she can fight so well. For me, she was really like natural. Like, she's a badass, she knows how to fight, and what? She can be a badass and a natural fighter. But the fact that she already knew how to fight as a kid, you saw that somewhere, girl. Or maybe you're a natural, really, also, since the beginning. Maybe. That's the 10% for which I think that you're not a clever Titan. Like, it would be a coincidence. All of that would be a coincidence. Why not? I want to believe that you're natural, because it's making you really such a badass, a natural one. It's so cool. But now... I have also to be realistic, you know, in that. Maybe she doesn't know that she can be a clever Titan, but she's suspecting that something is happening right there, you know, with her parents and all, because she's aware of the fact that she was trained like that to fight and all. Now that they discovered what happened for Annie, I'm glad that they put that flashback. I know that it was to explain the characters, the fact that they are still the same, and also to have this moment with Anose. I know that, and it's great for the characters, for showing their evolutions, but also the basic things, you know, that didn't change with them, their principles, you know, and all. That was great, but I'm glad also because for me, it, you know, it opened a new door on my mind. Like, I thought about something that I should have thought about earlier. You took Eren and Ymir, you kidnapped them, you want to take them outside. The next episode is gonna be full of information. I mean, now that you have the two of them, you're gonna talk about your mission, you're gonna talk about the situation and all. Or at least, even if you're not gonna confess everything, you're gonna give little more clues. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be in another video for you and in some minutes for me. I'm gonna eat, I think, before. And then I'm gonna come back to watch 2 episodes. So it's all for you for today, and it's all for me for now. So bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me you built a time machine?
Great.